Utah State went in the College Station as a massive underdog. It was a ranked top 25 matchup for Texas A&M, and yeah, they lost 44-22 to Texas A&M. But here's the thing: for the first time in a long time, it seems, you could actually see the progress for Utah State. I mean, maybe it was just a couple flashes, but the Aggies showed fight, in my opinion, and maybe, just maybe, showed a glimpse of what is possible under Bronco Mendenhall. Of course, we know what Bronco Mendenhall can do in the state of Utah, what he did for 10 seasons in BYU before moving on to other schools. And that might have been the worst thing that he ever did for his coaching career. But now that he's back in Utah, he sounds comfortable. And I think knowing that he's in the spot that he wants to be in the state of Utah, maybe not with BYU, but I think he is happy where he's at. And I think he's going to make some big progress. And you saw it right away on the field. This seems like, even though you lost by 20 something, even though you were down at a big margin at halftime, it never felt like they were giving up on the game. And you didn't see that in the past from some other Utah State teams. Like, you would go into these matchups. If this was a Utah State team from a few years ago, but they would have got down by 30-6, you would have saw complete quit. I didn't see that this game. I saw always the attempt of them trying to play good. Bryson Barnes, I mean, the arm on Bryson Barnes is incredible. And he placed some very nice passes all the way to the end of the game into the receiver's hands to try and continue to make this score up. And it wasn't really ever garbage time, in my opinion, that 44-22, because Utah State was always trying to build it up and set it up. So they walked on the Kyle Field to face this top 20 SEC opponent, knowing that they were double-digit underdogs. Yeah, they did lose by 22. They were doubled up. But I think they outdid the stakes. A&M wanted a tune-up before they got to take on Notre Dame and all that good stuff. But to me, I think this was about Utah State testing themselves against the big boys, if you will. Texas A&M is going to be a good team this year. There's no doubt about that. But I really liked what Bryson Barnes did. As I mentioned, his arm, I think, is incredible. His veteran presence is electric. He just needs a little bit more protection, I think. And if that comes later on in the season, then I wouldn't be surprised if they shock a couple of these teams in the Mountain West this year under the first year of Bronco Mendenhall. Miles Davis coming off a strong game against UTEP, seen as a potential X factor, right? And on the team. I don't think this was just a paycheck game for Utah State. I think this was a nice program statement, and not on the box score. But this is something that you can go into meetings, watch the tape, be proud of, build confidence, and raise that meter. That floor of the program has lifted under Bronco Mendenhall already after 2 games. And that's a great feeling to have if you're a Utah State Aggies fan, booster, alumni, or player on the team. 100% in my opinion. The opening drive, the A&M scored first, but Utah State answered right back. And I think that was huge. Them answering right away on a 75-yard drive that was capped by Anthony Garcia, hitting Miles Davis for a 4th down touchdown. It was a crazy play to make it happen. It was a little tricky play. Almost didn't happen. The pass was almost incomplete. The momentum kind of fell off a little bit, though, because they did go for 2. They failed, so they never got to tie the ball game. And that missed chance really kind of flipped the momentum just a little bit. You kind of already knew, just like from watching it, that Texas A&M is probably going to pull away eventually. But Utah State stuck around, even though they fell off and was down, I believe, 30-6 at halftime. They made some nice comebacks, nice stretches in the second half. I really did. I really did think that happened. The turning point, in my opinion, though, there's a little bit of trench problems, and Bronco Mendenhall stepped up. Like they said that A&M was better than them. They beat them in all phases of the game. Sure, I mean, that's fine. But I think there's still a couple great silver linings you can take from Utah State heading into the rest of the season after playing a game like this against a ranked opponent, when you are building, obviously, the program with bringing back Bronco Mendenhall year 1 into the system. Miles Davis had a breakout game, 50 rushing yards plus 2 touchdown catches, showing he can be more than just a runner, which I really appreciate, that veteran presence yet again. Brady Boyd had a career day, 6 catches, 87 yards. I mean, having a reliable target like him, Barnes and Boyd's, I'll take it. John Miller had 7 tackles and a sack. And the defense really stepped up. Brevin Hamblin had a team high with 8 tackles. So even in a loss, you saw individual guys flashing, the kind of performance you can build that team around. That's that confidence meter. That's that floor rising. And you absolutely need to see that happen. So what's next? You got Air Force and the path forward. Coach Mendenhall, what I did like about it too is he took full responsibility for the loss, admitted A&M won in all three phases and put the spotlight on the offensive line. So not only did he see that it's just a team to say, oh, you can be proud of this loss, although he might be proud of his guys, and I think he should be, but he did point out directly that there are going to be some concerns that they're going to work on right away. And that's a great thing to have. Having film against a Power 4 school, an SEC school like this, finding some success, and especially in this new portal window where you're trying to build and have retention and build a culture, if you find certain guys that stepped up in this game, those are the guys you want to build your culture around. So perfect time. Air Force is next. And if you can stop the run and protect your quarterback, I think you have a good chance of winning that football game and build that momentum and get a win. Another win on the season. So I think the effort's there. I think there's hope. I think the playmakers are emerging and the coach is owning the mistakes, which are you surprised? Bronco Mendenhall is a class act. He's one of the best coaches as an active college football, especially when it comes to the winning record as of right now. So Utah State shows us growth. And I think that's important when you're looking at some of these early matchups when you are playing teams that you may be seen as inferior to. And if they can clean up the trenches, because he pointed the offensive line, I think it's on both sides of the ball. But if they can do that and keep feeding guys like Miles Davis, Brady Boyd, if Barnes can continue to throw absolute dimes like he did in a good amount of this game, I think this team can absolutely contend in the Mountain West this year in the first year of Bronco Mendenhall. I don't know if they'll be at the very top. I think there's still another tier above them, but contending, maybe surprise somebody, shock somebody, who knows? You could find yourself there in year one under Bronco. All right, folks, that'll do it for the Pac-12 Daily Podcast today. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave some comments wherever you're listening, and we're trying to grow this, so hit that subscribe button once again. And if you are listening and you're a new Pac-12 fan, even if it's not a team we talked about today, we're going to start covering every single one as we get through this. Drop a comment and let us know who you're rooting for. We'll see you back here next time. Take care.